Hey guys, it's Tony from Fix. So some of you may have received your all-time belt and have noticed a couple issues. We do have a couple minor flaws that we kind of thought we sorted out. We obviously sorted out on the prototypes, but in production, when you make 500, you learn some things. So the critical flaw that's kind of out there, if you have this, is that the tool does not retain well in the buckle. So in other words, that happens. It just flies right out. There's kind of an easy fix for that. Of course, you can always send it back to me, and I'm happy to swap it out or fix it for you. But if you want to kind of get in there yourself, what you'll notice is that inside the unit, there's a spring clip that actually is what retains the tool in there. And you'll see on the tool itself, the side edge here is a little bit lower in profile than the rest of the tool for that clip to have a home. Okay, and that interference is what causes the two to stay together. But sometimes the spring is not oriented right in there. So it's fairly easy to just go in there with a screwdriver. On this, it's on the top side is where the spring is. There is no spring on the bottom. And what you'll do is you'll just bend it open. So go ahead and give it a push and kind of bend it down into the buckle. It's not going to snap or break. It's spring steel. It's designed to be bent. So you'll see, like in this case, I've sort of bent it way out there. And then what's going to happen is when you go to insert the buckle now, this first time you go to insert it, it's going to take quite a bit of force to get in there. So shove it down in there, and then take it out, put it back in a couple times. And what will happen is you'll sort of bend that spring back to where it should be to kind of find the optimal spring tension against the tool. And then you shouldn't have your problem anymore. It shouldn't fly out like that. Okay, the other thing that happens is sometimes you'll have a belt buckle tool combo where the tool is really just kind of jammed in there. So if you're using it properly, what should happen is when you open it, first you should stick your finger in the opposite end and get it halfway out, and then you grab it top and bottom on this end and slide it out. This one's a little fussy. I set this one aside because I kind of felt like it was out of spec. But there's a way to fix this. What you'll do is you'll notice that if you look closely at where the tool is, there's a gap on the top side here where the spring is, and then no gap at the bottom, right? But if you actually flip it upside down, I can push on the tool, and I can see the tool kind of pushing against the spring at the bottom. So what we want to do is we kind of want to smash down that spring a little bit. The radius where that spring bends is a little bit too proud, and we just want a tighter radius in there. So what I'll do is I just grabbed I just have a bit driver, anything that's metal and flat on one end, where you could get to just the tool and not be banging on the buckle. What you'll do is you'll find this little spot right here where you can just see the tool exposed, and you'll just give it a good pop a couple times with a hammer. Like that. And then there's another spot up here just on this end where you can also see the tool. I'll give it a pop there a couple times. And that should be it. That should be enough to kind of push that spring down for it to come right out. Yep, there you go. Okay, the last thing is just kind of purely cosmetic. I've seen a few where the rivets just have a little bit of oxidation and maybe even rust happening on the surface. So my experience with those is that they typically don't get worse when you start handling it and it kind of comes into contact with your skin and your body oils and even perspiration. It doesn't really affect it, and if anything, it just kind of starts to, I guess, smooth out the patina that's developing. But nevertheless, it's kind of ugly. So what I did was I just grabbed some emery paper, or you could take like some 400 grit sandpaper. I cut a little square piece, and I just glued it onto the end of a pencil. And you could just take that and just do one of those for a little while. And what will happen is, that'll just kind of burnish that end out, make it nice and smooth. There's one that I already did that's kind of smoothed out. But again, like I stated in the beginning, you might not want to spend the time on it. I'm more than happy to make any adjustments or swap things out for you. You can reach out to us at tools@fixmfg.com, tools@fixmfg.com, and I'll be happy to take care of you. Thanks a lot, guys.